people are like, "Oh my God, he said this on this show. You got to cancel him."
Yeah.
I'm like, the show is called Basshole. It's called Asshole. Like, we're saying that we're assholes. Like, whatever we say, like, try to cancel us because we're canceling ourselves now by having a show called Asshole.
Yes, hello. Welcome back to the Pop-Up with Paul and Friends. You made it for another week. Guys, thanks for doing whatever you did to get here. You clicked something, you subscribed, you left a review. I love doing this show. I love convincing people to come to a sketchy garage that looks like this, that's a studio, to have conversations. One thing specifically is, we're doing comedy in LA a lot. I didn't even know this guy was from New Jersey till 5 minutes ago. But we've been in cliques in the comedy scene. We know each other. I'm doing his show this week. And I was like, come on down. Let's get to know each other. This is one, though, where like I really get to know somebody right here on the show. I'm a big fan of his comedy. Put your hands together for Doug Bass, everybody.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Now, wait.
Thanks for having me.
It is Bass and not bass.
It is Bass, yes.
Because you're a Basshole.
I'm a Basshole, yeah. So the asshole, Basshole, it just kind of worked that way. But if you're a music guy, most people would be like bass.
Yeah.
Either music or fish, or you just
either one.
You figure it out. Yeah.
What was the nickname growing up with that? Was it the fish more than anything?
Yeah, it was definitely the fish, Bass.
I just keep seeing the fish in The Sopranos.
The talking fish. Yeah.
The talking fish.
Sopranos. Yeah, I mean Jersey. We all relate to that show, right?
How quickly do you mention New Jersey? Like being from, because you've been here a long time, but I am such a cliche. If I meet someone new, I think it's 30 seconds.
30 seconds.
I'm like, I'm from Jersey.
From Jersey, yeah. Sopranos, Yeah,
immediately.
What exit? Yeah, all that shit. Yeah.
Are you quick to tell people, or you've been here longer? You kind of hide it now.
I'm proud of being from New Jersey.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a great place growing up. I love going back. I do miss living there. But I've been here so long that sometimes when I do go back, I feel a little disconnected just because my world's out here now. So even when I go back and try to do a show or set something up, it's like I know pockets of people, but there's a lot of stuff I don't know. I'm like, I just went back a couple weeks ago. I went to the Jersey Shore for the first time in like 18 years.
What?
I went to Wildwood family trip. We used to do that every summer.
Yeah.
But it was the first time I had been there in a long time, and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about this place, all this stuff. So it was a great place. I'm proud of being from there, and it's Sopranos, The Boss, Bon Jovi, all that shit.
It's funny. I never got into Bruce, and people from Jersey think I'm like not really from there.
Oh, you got to go see his show.
I saw him.
Oh, you saw him?
I thought he was great.
Yeah.
I liked it more. I liked him more. But I have a ongoing joke with my buddy who loves him that he's just like a plumber who found a guitar on a job and was like, I think I'm gonna start singing.
Yeah, and he just made it.
Now he's very talented. I know. I never got on it. But I didn't know you were from there. I just think it's funny too because I was like. I just thought to have you on, and it just makes sense that we're from like very close to one another.
It does, yeah. I mean, I knew you were from Jersey after just reading about your stuff and everything, and then when you texted me, I saw the 201 area.
There you go.
And I was like, oh yeah, 201. There you go. I don't have a Jersey number anymore. I mean, I had a 973 number when I first moved here, which was a long time ago. I got rid of my Jersey number because.
Wow.
Everyone was like, "Oh, you got to have an LA area code if you're here. Like when you're acting, pilot season, all that. Like people want to know you're here, you're committed,
right?"
So like, two of my friends and I were like, "Oh, we got rid of like our East Coast numbers and got LA area codes." And now I'm just like, "Oh, I wish I kept it. Fuck that."
You left New Jersey as Bass, and you came to LA and became Basshole.
Exactly.
You became the new version.
I became an LA Basshole. Yeah.
I love the branding though. I'm excited about your show. Because like this whole idea of being a Basshole, describe it because I was looking you up, and your name is now Basshole, like your Instagram name, right? It's not.
I actually changed that like a couple weeks ago.
You did?
Yeah.
I like it.
It was Doug Bass Comedy for a very long time, and that was fine and everything. But then recently I was like, you know what? I'm a comedian, but I'm more than just comedy, or more than there's storytelling, there's hosting, there's film, directing, all that stuff. So, but then the show, Basshole. So I was like, Doug Basshole. I'm going to change it to that. See what happens. I don't know. But yeah, the show is a lot of fun. It's a hybrid show, stand-up comedy, storytelling. It's also a podcast, and we have comedians come on. They do a short set. They have 3 minutes to do whatever they want. Their material, crowd work. Whatever gets the audience on their side laughing at them. And then they get a sound audible cue that they have to segue and transition into a personal asshole story of themselves. So a time in their life that they were an a-hole, a basshole. And they go into that, and they should have a well-crafted, humorous story.
Right.
We've had a couple dark ones where it's like then we try
and
to
then
find
he died.
we try to find the humor in it if that happens. But like when you do say, hey, give us a story when you were an asshole, it could be a dark story, but we mostly comedians on it, hoping it's funny. So then they go into their asshole story, and then once they get the light, myself as the host can jump in and start roasting, asking them questions.
I love it.
The judging panel, then I turn to them in their default judgment. They'll roast the comedians. They'll ask questions. The audience can chime. It's a free-for-all once that light goes off.
Amazing.
And it's just crossfire. And the comic who's telling the story has to try to redeem themselves during that time. And it's a lot of fun. You never know where it's going to go, pretty much.
I love it, man. Look, I'm so excited because when you do stand-up for a while, you're always working on your thing. And not that you get in a comfort zone, but you kind of like, you're constantly focused on your material, but I want to do more stories. I want to be more of a Basshole. I actually think I'm more of a jerk now.
Yeah.
Since I moved here, I think I'm more prickly of a person.
It happens. There's a difference between, I think, the New York Basshole or asshole and the LA. Like New York, you wear it on your sleeve. You're proud of it. Here, everyone wants to be nice, Mr. Nice Guy, but deep down they are a Basshole, and they won't admit it. They'll do weird things that are like flaky or shady.
Totally.
It's really weird because like there's people that want to come on my show all the time.
Yeah.
And then there's people that don't want to do it because they're like, I'm not an asshole. I'm like, oh, really? You're not? I'm like, I've heard something,
What does it say about me that I heard about your show and I was like, get me on there?
Well, I mean, it shows you're confident. It shows that you are
being a jerk.
Whatever.
Confident,
but you're owning it. It does, and it could be a story of your past. And that's the thing. It could be a story when you were a kid. It could be something you're going through now.
I love it.
Whatever, But the thing is if you come on the show, have a story because there's a lot of people that come on. Comics are notorious for this, like not paying attention to the directions, just fucking saying yes to come on and get stage time. Oh yeah, I'll do it. Yeah. And then they get there and they're like, "What is it?" And I'm like, "Oh, you're an asshole. You're a Basshole."
This is your story.
And that's the thing. When they come on and they have a story, that's where we judge. Like, that wasn't really, And then people are like, "Well, can I do a story where someone was an asshole to me?" And I'm like, "You can, but like, And I kind of save that for like, the podcast version of this. So like, when people, I try everyone that does the live show, I try to have on the podcast at some point, just because it is more, of an interview where like, we only have like 3 minutes to really hear your Basshole story on stage in front of a crowd. But when I sit down with someone, that's where you can really jump in and get the juicy information and stuff. So,
do you think doing stand-up makes you more of a honest jerk? Because I feel like I say things that are very truthful, but they could be biting. And I don't know if it's from doing stand-up or from moving to LA and being like, F all these soft people.
Well, I think, I think being honest on stage doing stand-up is the best thing about it, I think, for me personally. I like to my material comes from like my true life experiences. I'd rather talk about myself, my divorce, my life problems I've had, and those are stories usually, or like you turn them into little chunks of jokes here and there. But I like to do that. I feel comfortable. I'm 42. I feel comfortable doing that now. I first started stand up, I was telling you, like when I was 21, and then I stopped because I did not feel comfortable. I didn't know who I was yet.
Yeah.
Now it's like, no, I know who I am. Like this happened to me. I went through this. This fucking sucked. Whatever.
Yeah.
And then get the humor out of it. A lot of comics don't do personal stuff. They just are commenting on what's going on in the world, politics, whatever. And it's like there's room for that, sure. But like being vulnerable is and self-deprecating is the ultimate. Compliment to humor yourself, I think.
Totally. I think that's also where you unlock getting to like a more Jedi level. Like I just started feeling like I could be honest about real things that would make me wince in real life. And it's like, it's almost like using comedy as the therapy for real.
Yeah.
But I do think it's the best stuff. It's the best earned laughs. And it's you. Like you're selling your comedy. It's your stories. Your divorce is only Doug's. It's not
exactly. And it's like I haven't dove into my divorce stuff yet because it's gem material that's like no one else has dealt with, and it's gonna when I unleash it, it's gonna be very interesting and weird and funny.
When you go through something like that, I am curious because I live a tumultuous life. I'm married still. I think today. Well, let's check. Actually, I don't know. I don't even know. It is like that. When you go through this helps me as a comedian now too. When you're going through something like this, are you like how often are you like in the phone like? oh, this is crazy, but like this is funny. Or do
yeah.
you see the lens of comedy, even if it hurts?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm not even like legally divorced yet. I'm still like closing it up. But
Well, I like that you're publicly divorced though.
yeah,
on shows. That's good.
I'm publicly divorced. Yeah, but it's you know, legally it's a whole different thing. But yeah, it's you know, when you're going through it, there's definitely like what I went through, which is crazy. You know why I left, you know, but it's like I already realized like this is going to be very funny and great material at some point. Yeah, you write it down, you go through all the thing. Well, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna release this story on the podcast. I'm gonna show her. It's gonna be funny and everyone's gonna love it and whatever. You know, but then you hold back a little bit because it is emotional. So you're going through a whole life changing situation. So the time to do it is not. You know, I've dabbled with it like on live stage shows. You know, but like I haven't publicly released like clips or videos or podcasts yet of it because I know that's a whole different thing. But yeah, it's good to even just do a mic and just blurt it out and see like, is this too dark? Is this funny? Like, no, it still hurts. I'm not ready for this yet. But saying it out loud helps, you know.
Well, the vulnerability you're talking about, I really am enjoying that part of the process. But before trying to write and do stuff like that, I just like wanted to be funny stand up. But when you get into the process, it makes life like pretty fun when you can kind of go through different things and you can kind of be like, this could be a bit. And also I love about stand up is like, any bit could be a ticket or like a vehicle, right? Like you could do your divorce story one day that could help you and get a bunch of fans, and you can go sell out a theater. You know, it's so wild.
It could be something that's like totally relatable to someone else that went through the same thing. And, and you know, what I went through, it's even I want people, if anyone else went through something like that, it's like it's a voice almost to be like, you know, consolidate someone else that might have gone through a subject like that. So, you know, you got to find humor in everything, you know, and even if you're not ready to find the humor, know that it will come over time, you know.
Yeah. And also for us, it may not be like super funny, but you can work it to make it very funny. And guess what? The emotion will change, I think. If you're getting belly laughs and applause breaks about material that once hurt, I think that's the ultimate win.
And that's the thing when you sit in like, you know, alone in a room and you're writing this stuff when it's like fresh and, you know, emotional and hurtful and stuff. That's sad when you're just sitting there like I have no friends, no one wants to hang. I have no girlfriend, whatever. You know, like I have 2 dogs and that's it. That are just sitting here. But then when you start doing it and like, you know, time heals everything and you pass by it and then you start getting laughs from it and then your life changes and evolves and gets better, obviously, after a breakup of any kind. You know, that's when you know like, oh, this is gold now. Then now it's ready. Now the sauce is simmering, you know, it's ready to be taken off the pot.
Well, I'm excited to hear you go full Basshole with that,
for sure.
That material.
It's gonna be good, yeah.
How much of a like real life Basshole? I like the subject more because like my personality changed. I'm curious if you're similar. Like you get in an Uber, how much of a priority is it to you that the Uber driver thinks you're a nice guy?
I mean, I think it depends on like where I'm going and like the time of day or whatever. You know, like if it's like. If I'm going to the airport and it's like an early flight or something, I don't need to talk. I just need to just get me there. You know, like I'm probably gonna fall asleep in the back or whatever. You know, if I'm drunk and I'm coming home, like
what's up, man?
I may be talky. You know, I may be whatever. You know, it all depends on the situation. I think, but. There's a time, you know, the best time to do that is like you're going out, like, you know, going to dinner or going to drinks. It's like you're excited. So like that's when I would probably talk to the Uber driver personable. And be,
I just think I used to really spend too much emotional time. And I'm not a jerk. I'm very kind to everyone around me.
Yeah.
But my life's mission in the Uber ride is not to make sure the Uber driver thinks I'm funny, thinks I'm nice. Like I used to people please in a way where I'd be like, "Oh, where are you from? Oh, cool."
Yeah, I don't do that. I'm very like, even though I'm a performer, comedian, host or whatever. Like I'm very quiet in real world.
Yeah,
like I choose when I want to speak to people, which is opposite of a lot of comedians. A lot of comedians are always blah 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 blah, you know, trying bits out, talking to everyone. I'm like I'm an introvert extrovert where it's like I literally like I do the slow approach. Like if I'm like, oh, I really want to get that guy on my show or something, like I'll like, you know, just like hang around and then eventually I wait for the appropriate time to go like talk to the person. I'm not like, hey, what's up? You know, hey, you know, I'm like, I'm not that fucking guy because that's too much. And that's the other thing. People are always like, hey, you got a show called like Basshole, like asshole, like you're like a nice guy. Like how do you get away with having a show like that when you're not really an asshole? And I'm like, you know, I'm not really an asshole. I am a nice guy, but it's like I try to play host to, I'm thankful for all these people coming on and being vulnerable with like their stories and showing their, their cards on their sleeve or whatever.
Totally.
So as a host, like, being a host, you gotta be presentable. You gotta be grateful that these people are coming on to a show or giving them their time to interview, with you or
totally.
whatever. So there's a line, I think, which is hard with this kind of show because it's like I do want to pry this information out of them and try to get them to be vulnerable and give us the juiciest asshole story that they have.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't want to be a dick to them because they are giving me their time. And the show is young, and like I'm trying to get more names and more people on it to just blow it up into what I want it to be.
Well, you've gotten some impressive names, man. I've seen you got some great comedians
fun,
coming
and it's
on.
like we started as the podcast, and then the live show I started developing 2 years ago.
Nice.
And then the ultimate thing is to try to develop it as a TV show.
That'd be great.
Like a talk show, like late night stand up storytelling hybrid show.
I love that.
So that's the whole Basshole universe, the multiverse, I'll call it.
You're helping. I love it. The Basshole multiverse.
Right.
You got it. You need T-shirts and bumper stickers. I don't know if you have them yet.
I started. I have a hat and a T-shirt. I have one of each, but I got to make more. Yeah. I have beer koozies. That's what I have.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're inspiring me, man, though, because I have a few stories that I don't feel prepared for this show, but I think that's also going to be part of the fun is trying to punch up whatever I think I'm going to do in time.
It's fun. I think as long as you have an idea of what the things that I'll give you a tip. Like people don't prepare. Sometimes they just go in and do their material and then they forget that they have to do the asshole. story.
No.
So that's the one thing. And then when they get an audible cue, which is different. We've been experimenting with this a little bit because it's like we used to just give them the light.
That
3 minutes in,
comics,
and comics just ignore it. They just keep going with their thing. So like the first like show or two, we just did a light, and I'm like, they're not getting it. Like they're not gonna do it. Like, and then I got to jump on and be like, hey, fucking tell your story.
I actually personally like you being a jerk and interrupting.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny, actually.
We the audible sound in the past has been a loud fart sound.
Oh, that works.
Which works. And one time we did it where like the sound guy didn't put it loud enough and no one heard it, and they just kept rolling with their stand up, and I was like, oh god damn it. I was like, all right. But yeah, it might be coming down to like me just like jumping on the mic and being like,
start
all right,
the story.
Yeah, exactly.
Is there a limit on the storytelling? How long?
We try to keep it to like 3 minutes of stand up, 3 minutes of story.
I should have known that, by the way. I'm doing it.
And then once everyone jumps in, it bleeds into like roughly, I would say like everyone gets to do about the whole segment is like 10 minutes. I'd say.
So you guys interview back and forth for a few minutes. After.
We play,
Please destroy me if you like. Just be the biggest jerk. That's my favorite type of comedy. Like people, my cousin who's here was just asking like, who's your favorite comedian, and I really think it's a Jersey. I don't mean to be so self-righteous about New Jersey, but we show love by being like, hey, you look like you gained 20 pounds. What are you doing, man? Hey, you want some fried chicken? What do you
exactly?
You ever hear of a treadmill?
You give each other shit because like those are your best buds.
Your boys.
You call them out on everything. Yeah.
But that type of comedy, I align with the most, and I think this ties into being a Basshole today because to me it's a sport. Like I'm on group texts where like I have one friend who will like stop talking to me for weeks because he takes me at face value, and I'm literally just roasting him.
Right.
And I think it's just a comedy sport. Like I'm like nothing personal. Like you can say anything to me. But I really enjoy that type of like. Don Rickles is my favorite comedian, by the way.
Oh yeah,
so
of course,
same,
Yeah, no, it's great when you find like a friend or you meet someone that you can just do that to, and no one is offended by it. You know what I mean? Like, because there are so many people, especially in LA. Like, there's so many friends that you have here.
I know that's a tough stereotype
and it's like, oh yeah, are you friends with them? No, I mean I know them.
I know
them, but like, do I go hang out with them? Do I fucking go to get a beer on the weekend? No.
LA's a weird town.
It's very weird. It's very weird. Yeah.
If you're in the hospital and you need somebody to like come help you, it's probably on my one hand, and they probably have my last name.
Yeah,
and that's about it.
Yeah. No, it's and
my 5-year-old.
I've thought about that too because it's like I actually live down the street from like Cedars-Sinai, and I was like, yeah, if I gotta go there or if I gotta go get a procedure, I need like a ride or whatever. It's like, who the hell am I calling? Like, it used to be my wife back in the day, but now it's like I got a couple friends, and then I've seen a lot of friends leave. So like that were close that I've known from high school. They've gone elsewhere now. Families, all that stuff. They just leave. Now it's like, yeah, I'd probably like have like 4 people maybe like that I could call and like not feel like weird asking them like, hey, can you drive me home from a fucking, colonoscopy, yeah, or something.
Well, listen, man, I know we just met, but you're Jersey and I am a real person, so call me.
I will call you.
Call me.
No,
dude.
I appreciate
that. You got
that.
the 201. Call me anytime.
Likewise, man. Yeah. Jersey people got to stick together. Yeah.
I can't wait till the show when you call me in between now and then, and you're like, wow, you are a cliche jerk already. You didn't answer my 5 calls, dude.
Right, exactly. It's like, Paul, where you been, man?
Yeah. People just get very surfacey with like people. What I've observed about here, and it's fine because where we're from, I think I have a better barometer on this, but it's just levels of importance. People put levels of importance on other people, and they kind of stick to that stamp, and they don't value. They value based on like, oh, that person's this, so like I need to give them my attention and time, and then this, and it's like people have tiers in their mind, like where they put their time, who they care about. I think I came out here. It's good that I came out here older because I just don't care about any of that. Like,
it's a good age for you to come out. Like, I hated my first like year and a half here. I think because I was too young, broke, not knowing what to do. Like I was acting, just trying to do acting back in the day. That was it. Acting, dabble in stand up, whatever. Mm-hmm. But it was more like I came from like doing acting as a kid and college and all that shit. And then slowly you realize, like, okay, no one wants me as an actor. So, like, what's the next step?
I could see you,
comedian
acting.
Oh yeah, no, I love acting, but it's it's just like I think I've worked as a professional actor like 3 times since living here.
Nice.
So SAG strike. Oh yeah, I'm not going out on the picket line to do
You're
it.
striking in solidarity.
I'm not going out on the picket line to strike.
3 jobs.
What were the jobs?
No, I'm saying for 3 jobs.
For 3 jobs, no, because it's like SAG hasn't done shit for me over the years. I've never gotten the health insurance and all that.
You haven't? Do you still have your SAG card or anything?
I do have
like
the SAG card. I pay my dues, but it's it's like.
See, I don't.
Yeah, I didn't pay them for like 2 years.
Yeah, I don't pay until I get a job in the union. Am I allowed to publicly say that? I'm
who
gonna get
cares?
in trouble. I don't care.
I mean, I don't think. Yeah, it's like
only if I get a job that they or because they have not. It's through their payment.
I owe them money right now. I think.
I do too.
Yeah, because it's like. They really haven't done anything for me. But it's like until you are a working actor, that's your day job.
Yeah.
That's when I care. Oh, yeah. Then I'll go on the fucking picket line and strike. You know what I mean?
I like this. Fine. This is a refreshing LA chat. You're not doing anything for us, SAG. We're not striking.
You're not.
We're 2 Jersey guys that are anti-strike. We're going to get canceled in LA.
My favorite thing is that I see so many people that are not SAG out on the picket line striking.
Are you doing?
And I'm like, they're like, every day they're there. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm like, I get it. It's all important things that the SAG is striking
They
for.
want real
Absolutely.
things.
Very important things, the AI, the residuals, the streaming, all that stuff. But, yeah, like not all these people that are not, they're just going to network. It's like, I can go down there and meet whoever the fuck, is in this show and be like, hey.
I used to say the same thing about when the writers were first striking. And
yeah, same thing with the writers.
They were like, remember me.
Right, exactly.
When you come back, write me a role.
Right. I kind of was like, I should go down there and do my podcast on the picket line, but then you'd probably be crossing the picket line because you're doing some kind of production on that.
I did pull a striker from the picket line to come in here.
That's awesome.
To learn about it. So
I thought about doing that and just going down and doing like street interviews, like, hey, what's your asshole story or whatever.
You should. That'd be a good idea.
Yeah. It's like I might get some shit from it. But
I really like doing stuff with like strangers on the spot, and I've always done bits like that. And
that's
so that
great.
one, I honestly was just like didn't know anything about it, and I kept seeing them here, and I was like, it'd be fun to just learn more. And I learned a lot. She was very informative, and they're fighting a good fight.
They are. It's important stuff, but it's at the same time, it's
not for us.
Not for us. No, I'm not a working actor, not yet. But we'll see.
We're making our own shows.
If we get some jobs at some point, exactly. Making your own show. Yeah.
You and I are going to start a Jersey union for comedians with podcasts.
We should,
protect ourselves, and
Jersey strong.
We'll have our own health insurance. Just make sure your lungs are good from smoking all the things that comedians smoke. Make sure we're all good with our liver transplants in 20 years.
Oh, you got it, man. Like health insurance, all that stuff. Yeah, it's like
I know.
Super important these days.
I understand what they're fighting for, but it's funny to see. Like funny if it doesn't affect your livelihood. It's like it's going on too long.
Exactly. Yeah. Especially like now, like auditions are just like, hey, film it yourself and edit it and write it as well. Like improvise.
Yeah.
And it's like okay, and like you're not booking it. You're not getting paid anything for it.
It's a lot of time.
It's a lot of time, man. Yeah.
By the way,
crazy.
I don't know if you could tell. I have a pinched nerve. Speaking of getting older, so I'm not on opioids. I got into them for 2 days, and now I'm off.
Okay.
So I'm kind of sitting. I'm kind of
now. Did you is that from like sleeping in a weird position or something?
No,
like that?
I wish. I think I don't know. It was like over time with my my posture and my like doing sports. I was playing basketball a ton.
I'm falling apart as well. I just got diagnosed with arthritis in my left ankle.
Look at us.
Which is and I'm also like trying to play pickleball and that kind of shit. And I'm just
you're
like,
on the pickleball. Everyone's doing pickleball now.
Oh man, it's
great.
It's you play?
I played once.
Yeah,
I played tennis.
Okay, yeah. Well, I didn't play tennis, but I started getting into pickleball now, and it's like it's the perfect sport to get into as you age because you just realize like
just enough on the knees, right?
Yeah, it's like this is all I can do. This is it.
My neighbor actually is in his 70s, and he has a whole court in his backyard. And we went over there and played with my aunt and uncle who were in town. It was great.
That's awesome.
A little workout.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad.
It's just getting real popular. I don't.
It's it's too popular now because like I try to go on the weekend or whatever with my friend or whatever, and reserving a court is a pain in the ass.
Yeah,
it's like you got to go on a week ahead of time at a certain time.
So popular.
And if you don't go on, they're all taken up for the next week.
Come by Terry's, my neighbor, dude.
Terry?
I'll just work you in a back end deal with him. You pay him, he'll pay me.
I do. Yeah, I saw there's an app where you can rent people's pickleball.
That's what his
courts.
is. I think that's what they do.
Yeah.
Like illegally, like I don't think. I don't think.
I got an underground pickleball court. Come over.
I like the sport. I don't need to see it on TV. I think we're getting a little ambitious watching pickleball.
There's a national. My parents.
What's going on?
My parents live in Naples, Florida, half the year. They do the Jersey snowboard thing.
Nice.
And that's where the national pickleball championship is every year. I think they live like around the corner from like the World Series or whatever the hell they call it.
I just think it's a little bit of a spit in the face to the tennis professionals.
The tennis people hate it
because think about it. Like you have the Venus Williams. You have the who just won. The girl just won. Like
oh yeah, I
forget her name, but incredible machines. These athletes.
Oh yeah.
And then it cuts to pickleball where they're athletes, but it's not. You're not.
No, you're not. I mean, but people treat it like they're like the Williams sisters or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like you could have any asshole playing pickleball, really. It's like
I like playing. I don't think we need to watch it.
The tennis people are pissed because like the sound that it makes, the ball, it's like clunk, whatever. Mm-hmm. There are people that live near the courts are complaining and being oh, this sound is annoying. It's too much.
Get a life.
Like, what are we gonna do?
My neighbor said that too. He said somebody was getting mad about the noise and stuff, but it's like.
And then the tennis people also, because some of the courts are not dedicated, so they paint the lines.
Oh, over tennis.
Over the tennis,
That's
so like
great.
the tennis people are like, I gotta look at 2-3 different lines and get confused and all that shit.
It all comes down to white people with money, and okay.
It's a rich sport. Yeah. I bought the cheap paddles. Like it was like 4 paddles for $25 on Amazon. Some people are buying like $200 paddles.
People are crazy, man.
I'm like, that's an investment. Let me see how good I get at it, and then we'll see.
Yeah. Can I ask you just personally because I'm doing the show, if I could just say the title of 2 stories and you could just give me feedback? I'm kind of cheating your own show.
It's fine because you know what? By the time I guarantee by the time the show starts, I'm gonna have so much going on. I'm gonna forget what the hell you're doing.
I'm between getting canceled by the cycling community because I yelled at a biker on the mountain road, or getting cursed out at a public AA meeting because I called it Creepy Old White Guys Anonymous. I did not know it was AA. When I said that. And that was on camera. I got reamed on camera for an NBC segment.
For the NBC site, the Peacock thing you do?
Yeah, I do a show. I do a show locally.
Okay.
And I had a whole camera crew, and I interrupted an AA meeting.
I think I like that one. I mean, that one sounds dangerous.
It was. I almost got punched.
Okay. Yeah. That's
as a matter of fact, can I play the audio?
Yeah, I'd love to hear it.
Oh, then I mean,
at the show?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, then I will do that.
Let's figure it out.
Audio.
Yeah, like if you wanna, I don't know how you want it, like however we structure it. If you want to do it before or during this story,
I'll just hold the phone up to them.
Okay, yeah, whatever. Or they have a whole crew that you can fucking give them the file.
Okay, maybe I'll do that one. That one was brutal, dude. It just happened. I really felt terrible for like a whole day.
Yeah, okay.
It was an accident.
Just message me and we'll get that technically.
Oh, cool. I can play it on my phone too.
Yeah.
But
all right.
I might lose my job, but let's do it. I don't care.
Well, that one, I mean, see, those are the kind of stories that we want, like people that are taking risks. You know what I mean?
Oh, I truly had a meeting at NBC last week,
Yeah.
and I thought it was the whole team, and I got there, and it was just me and one other coworker, and I was like, oh my god, they're firing me because of this. Like I really thought that, and I was all paranoid. I played the tape because I was like, oh man.
Yeah.
Turned out it was like freelancers. I'm a freelancer. It was like a mandatory respect in the workplace.
Wow.
Like seminar. It had nothing to do with this incident, but the incident was publicly documented and filmed.
It's so interesting. It's like I'm not sober, but it's like I'm not a crazy drinker, but I like to have a drink every now and then.
Yeah.
But like the AA meetings. I work at the Hollywood Improv, and they have a AA meeting there. And they always have them at bars, which is interesting. It's like they were saying like the other day, they were like, they got the liquor shipment in and they have boxes of liquor, and they were like don't leave those out in the hallway because the AA, we don't want to have it in there for the AA meeting. And I'm like, they're literally sitting next to a full bar. These are like bottles that are in boxes.
Yeah.
It's like, how does that make sense?
Yeah, and what do you think? They're gonna like be sitting there like
they're gonna be like, oh my God, I gotta open the box. Like,
hate to break it to you, booze is everywhere all the time.
It's everywhere.
It's hard for them.
But it's always funny that they have it at a bar where I don't know if that's like tempting or just to remind like, hey, don't have any of that.
Don't do that.
It's right there, but don't touch it.
It's right there. They
like,
want the feeling of being in those places.
It's like taking a bunch of sexaholics and having a meeting at a strip club or something. It's like
just work the program. Look down. Look down. It's gonna be good.
There's nowhere else we could have had this meeting.
Yeah.
Horrible.
There's you can have it in the park, and I'll come I'll come yell at you and make fun of you on camera.
Right.
Dude, that's funny. I didn't realize you're at the Improv. That's great. I love that venue. I love all the venues in LA.
We do the show there once every other month usually.
Cool.
Yeah.
I love the Bourbon Room too. It's a great venue.
Bourbon Room's great. It's like we just, this is the second time we'll be doing it at Bourbon Room. And the show is this Tuesday, September 26th at 9 p.m. They can get tickets at the Bourbon Room website or my Instagram page, Doug Basshole or Basshole Show. There's a link there. But Bourbon Room is cool. We wanted to do it there just because it's a bigger venue, and we're also shooting it with a couple cameras. And stuff.
Nice! I didn't realize that.
Just because we want like cool footage. Yeah, you'll get cool footage and stuff like that. And then we're just piecing it together as a pitch sizzle reel.
Totally.
Just for future stuff.
I think it's smart too with the podcast. You keep filming it and you could release clips and use it as part of the podcast or all the same. It's such a fun. It's funny because we were talking about before, like being late to this in a way, but it's such a fun. If you look at it as like an opportunity as comedians, it's the best time to be doing all this.
It's the best time to do it, and like the thing I love about it is like there's never been a better time to like be yourself,
right?
As a host and a comic or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like that is what people want now. That's what shows want. That's what it's like. When I remember just coming here and being like, oh, acting, like I did Groundlings where you did a character with a wig on and all this shit, and it was like now people just want you to be yourself, and then you're yourself, and then you have a TV show or a hosting thing, or whatever, and it's like. Yeah, you can act still. If you want to act, you can act.
Sure.
Everyone knows how to act, I feel like. Just figure it out, But like being yourself is almost harder.
Right. I do think it's harder for actors because they don't know who they are.
A lot
of them.
Yeah.
Right? Like they're really like it's better. I think that's why stand up you really have to look at like who am I? What am I doing?
Exactly. Yeah.
I don't know if I'm an expert or know everything, but I do think you do a lot of soul searching to figure out what's vulnerable and what can be funny.
And it takes time. Like, it literally I would say like 5-6 years ago is finally when I was comfortable just being myself, and like who'd have thought that, 10 years ago.
That's what's hard about doing this too. Like the long game of it is really inspiring, but sometimes when you're in the middle of it, you're like, what am I, that was a bad show or that was this, or you just get in your head so much.
Oh yeah. You're always in your head. Like after every show, it's like, if you're not, you're not doing it right. You know what I mean? Because it's like, you're judging yourself constantly.
Did you do La Jolla with me? In San Diego?
No.
With Jimmy Shin?
No, I haven't done that down there yet. No.
I think
we did Roosevelt together.
Oh, yeah. That's what it was.
Yeah.
With Jimmy, right?
Jimmy's show.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, he does shows all over the place.
Yeah. I'm remembering now, because the way you described how you act backstage and stuff is now I remember meeting you, but I was probably like the guy like, yo, what's up, dude? Like
I was probably, I've hosted that show like three times, I think, or something. So, yeah, that's always an interesting room, the Roosevelt. Yeah, that's
the coolest like room to do a show, but not necessarily the best comedy room because it's like an old theater.
It's a cool venue, but like for some reason, like I don't know if the way it's like built or whatever, it's like kind of built for like music and stuff. I think, like or play or something. Like
we had the funniest night in there. You'll appreciate this. Jimmy had me on a show, and he goes, producers always want to make sure people come out selling tickets.
Yeah.
And he was very lax about, like, usually you hear, like, about bringing people or whatever it is in some capacity. He was just very lax about the whole thing. And I get there, and it's completely slam wall-to-wall with people. And I was like, this is sick. What's going on? He said, it's a Persian guy's birthday party. I was like, are we doing the show? And he's like, yeah, we already had the show, but they really wanted the room, so they bought every ticket.
Oh, really?
So we are doing our stand-up show in the middle of this Persian birthday party. And we did a whole show. And it was like... It was ridiculous. These guys were partying. It was beautiful.
And were they paying attention, or were they just like
I was
half
hosting, so I had to reel everybody in.
It's hard to host that show.
It was a hard host job.
Yeah.
I think I got him because I immediately made fun of Persians. I just was like, and I'm not Persian, but I was like, you know.
Yeah, you gotta address the moment. Yeah,
yeah.
Moment, yeah.
You know, I think this guy drove me Saturday from the airport. You know, in a Lexus, whatever I said.
Right.
I was ripping on just cliche Persian stuff. I don't even know much, and then I figured out they were like Persian Jewish versus Muslim. I don't even know.
Yeah.
I got a lot of the specifics wrong, and then we laughed about it.
Right.
But it was such a weird night because like I kept thinking they just wanted to like get to the partying. Like it was like they were like kind of forced to watch a show.
Right. And then that's a 2-hour show.
Yeah. And we had big names and stuff. And they're like, now from SNL.
I know,
it's like guy's 30th birthday.
Sometimes it's like there's like, you know, all these comics and then there's like, you know, 2 headliners or whatever in the middle, and then it's like it's a long show. But
it was
like,
a funny night, man. But I think they had a good time. We were like roasting the birthday boy, and then like one like, you know, cool alpha energy Persian guy just like kept talking back to me.
Yeah. That's fun though when it's like an occasion like that. Yeah,
it was fun. I've never seen more beautiful people in one room in LA.
I bet,
everyone was stunning on both genders. I was like, everyone looks like a model here.
That's the thing. Like, there's a lot of like, you know, compared to like, there's a lot of models doing stand up out here. Like,
well, that's because they'll get booked.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just kidding. No, there is. You ever do shows with stand up? You see like the headshots. You're like, that girl's a stand up.
Yeah, well, she is now because it's like every actor, like model, hot girl actress is doing stand up now, which is good in a way, I guess. I don't know, but like, you know, I mean, I don't know. I mean, if they bring people and they're engaging, that's the one cool thing about Basshole, I'd say, is that I haven't built it up to this yet, but it's kind of like a show where anyone, I'm going to say anyone, but like anyone with an engaging, funny story could do it. Like they don't have to be a stand-up per se. They can be an actress. They can be a regular person that has a good story. You know, because there's storytellers that people just do like The Moth and stuff like that, but they don't do stand-up. You know, so it's kind of like I can book like different people like that are not like, you know, I think we have this show coming up. We have like Ricky Keels or something like that. Yeah, he's a boxer.
Oh, cool.
And he's not a comedian, but like I don't know, you know, he's got an asshole story apparently.
Wait, I think I know Ricky.
You know him? I don't know him. I haven't met him yet, but I know he's.
Wait, Ricky the boxing.
Ricky the boxing.
He was an MMA guy too.
Yeah, I think so. Like lightweight boxer or something.
I know
like
Ricky. He trains my buddy, and he knows.
Yeah, he's a big
Christina,
trainer.
My wife.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's a big trainer too. Yeah.
I actually was thinking about doing classes. That's so funny. He's going to be doing that. He's telling a story.
He's telling a story. Yeah. So
wow.
So he's gonna like, and this is we're really this show coming up that you're on is like we're experimenting from the different thing. We have like an athlete on.
Nice.
The judges. We have an actress the first time. You know, YouTube personality. So like different personalities and you know people on.
It's fun, man.
I don't know what to expect really because I don't know everyone's personality.
Oh,
so
it's gonna be great.
Yeah.
It's I like that it's variety too. I'm doing variety is my favorite form of entertainment.
Yeah,
I come from
variety's
that old
fun.
school world, and I'm doing one in November in New York, and it's like an old school variety night because I like. I mean, it's just storytelling. It has a theme, but it's like you can do anybody really.
Yeah, for sure.
If you have any
and that's the fun thing about it. It's like I haven't even brought this. I'm dying to bring it back to New York, New Jersey.
Do it
soon. That's the next step is to start doing it at a couple different cities.
You should go to Austin too. I feel
Austin
like
would be good.
Austin.
Yeah. So like that, I want to line up a couple cities and try to do it on the road here a little bit.
Nice. Do you tour?
Not really. It's hard for me to get out of town sometimes, but I think I have a little bit more free time now, and I think I do want to go on the road with this show. I think,
yeah, that'd be great.
And it's I just don't want to go out as a rogue stand up, like trying to be like, give me 10 minutes here and you know whatever. This for me is more effective and more what I want to spend my time doing. Like,
well, it's smart because these types of shows you can get booked and you can fill seats.
You can get booked.
Unique.
It's a different show for the clubs.
Yeah.
You know, I could book a bunch of local comics, whatever city we're in.
Yeah.
And then a couple local, you know, celebrities of
totally.
You know whatever the town has.
Yeah.
The weatherman in Cleveland, Ohio, or whatever. You know,
great.
You know, stuff like that. That's what I'm thinking about. So yeah, that's the next step is to start doing that little touring here and there, and
also
get the word out about the show.
That's awesome. The more variety you get to, like hearing somebody who you don't expect to kind of have like a I'm a jerk moment.
Right.
I like the theme because everybody has those moments. Like I don't care who you are.
Exactly. And
there's a moment where you felt bad or you did something where you were like, I was kind of a jerk in that situation.
Yeah, and that's the tagline. Like, we've all been one, so let's laugh about it. And like, yeah, you can argue left and right if because like we've had people come on the podcast like, I'm not really an asshole. I'm not. Then why'd you come on the podcast? Because it was an opportunity.
Probably.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like you try to call them out a little bit on that stuff. But
I think I'm more of a jerk than I've ever been.
Yeah.
But it's an honesty thing. It's an honest.
You got to be honest.
Transparency thing.
But it's also like a lot of people go back to their past. Like when we were kids, everyone was an asshole when they were a kid at some point. I don't care who you are. You learn, you grow. Like I think about some of the kids are awful, like teasing kids, making fun of people, and it's like if you never did that, like at least once, like you probably just lived under a rock or something.
Or you're lying.
Or you're lying. Yeah. Like own up to it. Yeah.
The biggest loser, and you got bullied the most.
Right.
And you never got.
Yeah, exactly. The interesting thing about this show, the challenge for me, I would say, is like, I'm trying to get more interesting guests, like on the podcast or whatever, just obviously to build the brand, to get better social media clips out there and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So getting like, people of name, celebrity, whatever, is interesting and challenging at times because it's like, they probably would want to come on and do something, but they also have to be very like careful about what they say. It's like screening their asshole story or them being vulnerable about something like that.
Yeah,
it's like it could be a PR nightmare or whatever, But I think it would be fun, and I think fans would love to see like so and so celebrity just tell a story like that. You know what I mean? And,
I think you're unlocking something good though, because most people now with the social media age are not as guarded with some of the PR. Some people are.
Some people are, but if it's like a screen thing where it's like here's two stories so and so is willing to tell. Yeah, and it's like great. You know what I mean? Like we just need one. And
also,
like,
what are we protecting now? Like you're still going to go sell movie tickets if you were cut some guy off on the freeway and then flipped him off and slashed a tire.
Right.
You're still going to sell movie tickets. Like, what are we really worried about?
Right.
I hate when people.
And that's the thing. It's like, but like the show could also go like, it's like I can have like prisoners on. You know what I mean?
Cool.
Like that's like, it's not funny. Like this person killed 2 people. Yeah, he's an asshole and he's also a fucking murderer. I don't think it's not funny. I don't think it's funny at all. But like. That's a serious interview with someone.
It's funny if it was a Dexter style murder.
Sure,
like, the person deserved it.
If he revealed like, why did you do it? He's like, well, I was a big fan of Dexter. It's like,
well, I like
all right. I can see
Michael
that.
C. Hall, you're not as charming as him though. You're a gang member, and the person was innocent.
You took it a little too far. Yeah, you went meta there. Yeah.
No, I like what you're doing, man. I'm similar with comedy and interviews. It's like nothing should really be off limits, and obviously you shouldn't murder people. But I mean,
right, exactly.
You should have a guest. You could talk to a guest about. I would interview someone like that just to see. It's crazy, but I would do it.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like finding those people like online and. The show could be like we've also joked about like having. If we did this as a TV show, which is the goal at some point, is like having someone do their asshole story, whether it's like I did this to my ex-girlfriend or whatever, and then it's like all of a sudden it's like, well, we happen to have your ex-girlfriend here, and it's like then it's like Jerry Springer style.
You're the new Maury. You're the new.
It's a combination of stand-up storytelling and Maury.
Yeah,
exactly.
You got to do some paternity.
Which I love. It's like that could be like totally bonkers and off the wall.
When you're ready, if you want to use me to like. Do a paternity thing or something. We could just write it, fake it.
And that's the other thing. Like coming from like Groundlings and
sketch
UCB stuff. It's like I have like a handful of like sketch actor friends, and I'm like just like my one friend on the panel. My one friend played like a psychiatrist called Dr. Wiener, and he just has like he's a total character, wig, glasses, and stuff. But he's playing this and he can say whatever he wants because it's not him. It's just this fucking character like. Mouthing off.
It's the best.
Like, and
are you inspired by the Kill Tony show
a
little bit?
Yeah, I love Kill Tony. Yeah. It was fun when it was here in town. I know they went to Austin now.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing I've thought about, it's like this could be set up like that, where it's like we have a bunch of open micers come and do a minute, and then they do an asshole story.
I like the way you're doing it because you have.
I like it booked,
professional guests and interesting people.
But like ultimately that would be something cool to do, like a live podcast version of it. I don't have the crew yet.
You will.
It's just getting people a couple of, Keita Mascara is producing.
Great, yeah.
He's helping produce this, and we teamed up, with the Bourbon Room to try to do this night there and stuff like that. And then the podcast, I have a couple people helping out here and there, but it's not a dedicated team yet.
You'll get it, man.
It's like anything else. It's like building it slowly and just trying to get the brand out there and everything.
Well, the thing is consistency. I mean, I know of you in these shows from being in the scene, and there's buzz about them. You just keep going. It's like that's how they grow. You just keep doing them.
It's a full-time thing. It's like you gotta. The thing I've always suffered with in the past is that I am a creature of loving to do a bunch of different things.
Yeah.
Like filmmaking, stand-up, acting, just traveling, everything. But it's like I gotta pick one. Like this is like the thing. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna pick this and just kind of I'm really passionate about it. Interviewing people like yourself and everything, and you just gotta stick to it and just make it happen. I think.
I do think a lot of our idols in the space, it's consistency. Keep doing the show, keep doing the pod, and keep growing. And the show will morph too. The format will continue to evolve.
And we always change things up here and there. We throw different ideas in there. Like when we do it at the Improv, we usually have an audience member come up. We picked up a number out of a bucket. Yeah. We haven't done that at the Bourbon Room yet, but just because it's a little bit of a grander show, and it's it either works or it doesn't. And even if it doesn't work, it's fun because this person is up there willingly, not a performer, and they're reaching for a story. And they didn't know they were going to go up and tell stories. So either the guy has it or he doesn't.
It's hit or miss with audience.
Yeah, but then as a host, you're coaching them through it, and then the wife will yell out and be like, "Yeah, you were an assoul last week. You did this," and then that gets a laugh from the crowd and stuff.
Before I let you go, what is your biggest Basshole story for yourself, or are you developing a new one?
That's the interesting thing. I have a couple, and I always try to. As I've been doing this show, I always try to do a Basshole story of myself as an example for the performers and stuff. And we've done this for a while now, and every time I go up, I'm like, all right, I only have probably 3 or 4 good ones, and I'm like, I'm gonna keep doing the same, either I got to be more of an asshole and come up with more stories, or just keep doing the same ones, and they're good. So it's it's like people just see them, but then I'm like, they're gonna get tired. They already heard me say this. It's like the same thing with your material or whatever.
I like the idea of you going out in the world doing things because you need a better story.
I need more material for my show.
Tripped an old lady. You're I run a variety. I have a show.
Yeah,
one of
that's someone trying to come in. Come on in. I think my biggest. The best Basshole story I have, which I've done on the show a couple times, is I'll just do it quick. It's pretty much when I was in my 20s. I was out with friends, and I had a one night stand with this woman. She was older than, she was probably 10 years older than me.
Okay.
And everyone was hooking up with everyone branched off with a girl, and then I was stuck alone. And I was drunk, and I'm like, oh. Then I finally meet this girl, Michelle. Right, living in the valley here, and I meet this woman. She's 10 years older than me. I bring her back to my apartment. I'm living with 2 other guys in a 2-bedroom or whatever. We're all sharing spaces and shit. And I hook up with her, and then the next morning she wakes up, and I immediately regret it. She reaches over and grabs a bottle of Jack Daniels, starts chugging from it, and I was like, oh, this was a bad decision. Now I just need this woman out of here, right? So I scoot her out the door. She leaves her number, Michelle, 818, whatever. And then she gets into a cab and leaves or whatever. And I regret, my roommates are giving me horrible looks at, I'm just like, yeah, let's forget that happened. Let's never talk about that again. Walk of shame, back to my room, whatever. And then 4 years later, I go out day drinking in Studio City here at Mexicali with a friend. And I get there, it's 4 o'clock, and my friend's like, hey, Doug, you made it. And I'm like, hey, what's up? And they're drinking. He's like, meet Michelle. It's her 40th birthday. I was like, oh, hey, happy birthday, And I start drinking, and I have no idea. I have no recollection that this is the same woman from 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And we're drinking, and then my friends start disappearing. It's 6 o'clock now, and now I'm here with Michelle, drunk. And then we go back to my apartment, a different apartment, different roommate, upgrading a little bit over time. Go back, and I start hooking up with Michelle again, right? and I'm making out with her. She's drunk, and I'm just like, oh, whatever. And then she starts blowing me at one point, and I look down, and she looks up. And when we locked eyes in that situation, when she has my dick in her mouth, And I realized it was the same woman at that moment only.
Oh my God.
And I had one of those like usual suspect moments when like, the coffee cup drops and like all the pieces go.
The whole twist.
And I literally go, Michelle. And I go, whoa. And then I got like, I flashback. I'm like, I can't do this again. Oh no, this was horrible. I'm like, this was embarrassing. So I literally stop her in the middle of, that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, why don't we go grab another drink? And she's like, we're here. Like, and I'm like, yeah. I'm like, but there's a bar next door. We'll go grab a drink and then we'll come back and we'll finish all this.
Oh my God.
So I somehow convinced this woman to like get dressed, walk across the street to the dive bar, get a drink. She goes, we walk in there. She's like, I'm going to use the bathroom. I'm like, okay. She goes to the bathroom, and I immediately fucking left. And I was like, it was her 40th birthday. Happy 40th birthday,
You ghosted
Michelle.
her at the bar.
It was horrible. It was
Wow.
bad. It was bad. It was bad.
Wait, yeah, Basshole move, I think.
It was definitely
sure.
Basshole move.
But wait, did she remember you?
No. She didn't remember me. I didn't remember her.
Did either of you have a weight gain or weight loss of more than 20 pounds?
I at the time, no. I was still like, kind of skinny in shape.
Believe
yeah.
It's almost like, Superman.
I don't know.
With the
I don't
suit
know.
on.
I think it was so bad that like I erased it from my memory at that point. But the only reason, the one time I realized it was her when it was like a sexual moment.
That's
like,
wild.
It was crazy, right? It was
really,
like,
yeah.
So that's my best Basshole story, and I've done that story on the show like a couple times,
funny.
and it usually gets laughs.
The fact that you left her on her 40th too.
Oh, it's just horrible. I don't know what happened to her, but yeah.
Well, I think you're probably going to take her home in a couple years.
Probably,
I mean,
yeah.
Third time's a charm.
Exactly. It's like I'm single again, so it's like if she's still in the valley and I end up hanging around here, like there's a good shot that I might run into.
I like the idea of you like dating girls and like having to like check if they're Michelle now.
Yeah,
like, not Michelle, right?
Any Michelle I meet, I have to like
which
double
Michelle?
check which Michelle.
Turn this way.
Yeah, exactly.
Make a pose.
But this was all before, like social. This was just when you just had a number, like no
Right.
social media, nothing like that. So like,
it probably can't happen now in this day.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like she left L.A. at some point.
Probably that night. She probably was like, well, this is.
She's like,
I'm
this is
40 and this guy left me.
It's always interesting, like a random hookup like that. Like sometimes I'll think about like stuff like that, like early 20s, and I'm like, hey, whatever happened to that girl? I don't know. Like it's like I don't know her last name. I can't even look her up anymore.
Well, we are from an era, we're similar ages where you don't really have that anymore. Like you can get yourself in more trouble, or just in general.
Oh yeah.
You can see everything. Like you can meet. I could live. This is creepy. I'm not the guy from You, but I could be in the grocery store and meet somebody, and know their entire life in five minutes.
Oh yeah.
Like, what's your last name? Oh, cool. I could leave.
You just look it up.
See them with their first child and whatever.
Right.
It's crazy. Like
Instagram, like it's like all that stuff. It's just like you can just look up people now and find them.
Did you watch You on Netflix?
I did watch You. I didn't watch the latest season. I kind of dropped off. Was it third season?
Crazier.
The first two seasons I liked, but then I stopped watching it for some reason. I know there's one more coming out. So
the one when he's in New York, that first season, that's what he does. He just creeps on everybody.
Yeah, it's a good show.
But I creep a little.
I think we all do. I think it's a natural thing to, especially with the internet and Google search.
How often do you look up somebody you know and don't follow them?
Oh, I've done that. I've done, especially like when
comedians.
You see, no names mentioned, but like, you see people. It's like that motherfucker. How's he doing that? How's he doing that? I'm not following him, but I'll look at it.
I think we're real friends because you folled me and you're having me on your show.
I did, exactly.
You're gonna call me to go to the hospital, so we're now real friends.
We are, yeah.
Versus
I'll definitely have you on the show.
Peripheral creeping Instagram buddies.
No, it's like as soon as I was like, I'm gonna like Paul's vibe in Jersey, North Jersey. It's a different thing. Yeah.
Well, I'm really excited to do this show. Now I'm prepared.
There you go.
Knowing that I could play this guy cursing me out in the show, I think is making me excited.
No, that's excited. Yeah, we'll figure that out. Technically, yeah, it'll be fun. Yeah,
and it is dangerous because like I know my boss there would probably like he doesn't want that footage out, but it's the audio.
It's the audio. It's a live show.
I'm gonna change the job.
Change the job, change names, whatever you got to do. It's like, like we'll do stories where people change names and stuff.
Yeah.
That's why the other thing when people come on the podcast, we've done stuff where it's like, oh, can we edit that out? And I'm like, I'm going to start having people sign a disclaimer. We don't go live with it. Like I thought about going live and just doing it on YouTube. Where that way there's a version out there that's already there. You know,
should just say it's live.
Yeah, it's live, and it's like, but I really I don't like to edit the podcast too much because it's like literally it's like if you said something you really regret, you got to convince me why to take it out or whatever.
Well, that's why talking with stand-ups is refreshing though, because we really don't edit ourselves. And that's where people get in trouble sometimes. If people want to be offended, like we're not editable.
Well, especially with the cancel culture and everything now, and that's the one thing I've joked about my show is that if I do this show and then like 4 years from now like I'm a success with it or something, and then people are like, oh my god, he said this on this show, you got to cancel him.
Yeah.
I'm like the show is called Basshole. It's called Asshole. Like we're saying that we're assholes. Like whatever we say, like try to cancel us because we're canceling ourselves now by having a show called Asshole.
If you, I think you're going to have some success when like an A-lister tells a story and then they get in trouble. And it's a PR nightmare for them, but it's great branding for you.
It's branding, and it's like they came on, they said it. Like we're already saying that this was an asshole move, and they're owning up to it. We're owning.
What are we policing though? Like it's
I don't know, man. I hope it ends. This canceled shit. This woke.
Doing comedy
stuff.
though has made me. That's why I say I'm more of a jerk. Because doing comedy, you really don't. There's nothing off limits anymore in terms of if it's for a laugh.
Yeah.
And I wasn't always like that. I had a line. I feel like the line has moved where I'm like, well, if it's funny, if it's clever, but real people in life that aren't comedians don't think that way. They don't say that.
Yeah, they're like, you can't say this anymore. You can't say that.
No,
like that's not appropriate. It's like
it's a word.
Depending on what the context is or how you shape it. It's like it could be. It's like, figure it out though.
I don't know why my mind just went to like the worst word. Like it's two white guys talking about like they're just words. And then we just dropped the worst word we could say.
Yeah.
Like, wow, they shouldn't.
Well, that's a different.
That's different.
That's a different thing. Yeah, I mean, but there's some words that like that everyone used to say growing up that now is considered cancelable.
Totally.
It's like all right.
Well, yeah, like in stand up I have a joke and some guy yelled the gay one at me of the F word. I don't say it here. I don't say it.
No, yeah.
But growing up, people say it all the time.
Right.
And someone in LA yelled it at me. It's part of one of my stories.
At a show?
No, in
real life.
public in Studio City.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So it actually happened.
Right.
Like I look, if you're not coming from a hateful place, which we're not, I think you're
exactly But when people are using these things in terms of hate or like as a slur or whatever, then that's a different context of it.
9 times out of 10, a comedian's not slurring; they're joking.
No, they're joking.
But I guess who knows?
Who knows? Is you're going to have sensitive audiences. You're going to have audiences that are accepting towards whatever.
Well, I hope you guys get some people canceled on your show.
I hope
help
so.
You.
Yeah, that's our goal is to get people canceled.
It's bad. Come be a Basshole. I'm going to get canceled Tuesday. I'm going to say. Just gonna say the wrong thing.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna go. You said be a Basshole.
Well, if we get people canceled, then I'm at least being like, well, people are watching and listening and paying attention. Our ratings are going. There you go. There you go.
Listen, come see us Tuesday at the Bourbon Room.
Absolutely.
I'm so excited. This is the first time, by the way, I've kind of tied in a show with the podcast because I always have guests on, but I'm like. It's great having you on the week we're doing a show together. Why not?
Yeah, I was checking out, some of your. I saw Jamie Kennedy was on.
Yeah,
like
Jamie.
Jamie's great.
Has he done your show?
He did. He came on the podcast. Yeah, he's done the live show. Cool. He was the first one we did at the Improv.
Nice.
And he did great. And then he's been on the podcast over Zoom we did during pandemic.
Cool.
So yeah, he's a great guy.
Yeah, this has been really fun for me to meet people like you and be in the scene and just be like, come down because. Again, we're all doing this stuff, and now like we know each other, and it's like I love comedy. I can talk about comedy all day and night,
yeah, same.
and I feel like a student of it still. So like talking to people with more years on me, I learned so much just nerding out about it.
Well, and just talking to you as a professional host, I'm still learning like hosting and interviewing podcast stuff, and I'm getting better at it every day. And like, I was watching your stuff, and it's amazing. And like,
thanks, dude.
You really know what you're doing with it.
I just love
it's
chatting.
inspiring. Yeah.
Oh, thanks. Same with your stuff, man. I think it's just a matter of being inquisitive and staying childlike. But this, I'm more lax.
Oh yeah.
I'm like less rules around.
Yeah, no, it's nice. It's a comfortable, entertainment thing that this is like the podcast, especially your studio. This is great. It's
Thanks,
very relaxing, and it's got a nice vibe to it.
Well, don't be too nice. I'm coming to be a Basshole to you.
Yeah, I can't wait. It's gonna be fun, and just just have fun with it. Just go with it. You never know where it's gonna go.
Amazing.
So, yeah.
I want to make sure everyone follows you guys. Check him out. It's say it again, Doug Basshole, right on Instagram.
At Doug Basshole is my Instagram, and also at Basshole Show is the show Instagram. You can follow us there, and the YouTube page has all our podcast videos.
Amazing, man!
And the show is Tuesday the 26th at 9 p.m. at the Bourbon Room. Tickets are on sale. So yeah,
a lot of good talent, a lot of good people coming to that show too. Thank you for coming today, man. Thanks for having me on your show.
Thanks for having me, man.
Dude, this is great.
This is awesome. Yeah.
Jersey boys, call me if you ever
Absolutely.
need. Call
Let's
me for the hospital. Guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you next week. Bye, everybody. Oh, that sounded like a music cue, whatever that was. Is that a chair? I was like, bye, everybody.